You are listening to KC Sports Network, the #1 podcast network for today's Kansas City sports fans. With former players from your favorite teams, informed perspectives, and former insiders, this is the place for you. KC Sports Network is proudly presented by Emprise Bank, your partner in possible.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the KCSN Defensive Film Breakdown, brought to you by Derek Johnson's Defend the Dream Foundation. I want you all to go down here underneath this link, click the link for DJ's Defend the Dream Foundation. Throw a little money his way. We appreciate him doing that with us every single week. But if you're watching this, you know I don't have DJ, I don't have Mike on here. We got our good buddy Nick Leckey on here. Nick, my friend, how are you? How are things? We're going to explain why we have an offensive lineman on here to talk defensive football here pretty soon. But how you been, buddy?
I've been good. I've been really good. I'm excited to Wally Pitt, Mike, and DJ. So it's gonna be sweet. It's really good. It's really good. I'm excited.
All right. So this week, you know, the Chiefs just came off this game against the Titans. First half of this game was absolute dominance by the Titans. Offensive line, running game, everything they did was working. And the Chiefs made some adjustments to get to the second half and kind of stymie that offense and get off the field routinely. So I wanted to bring Nick on this week with DJ and Mike out this week. I wanted to bring him on because I want to talk about things from the offensive line point of view here and how things look, what he's seeing, and the adjustments and how it changed. And so I really just want to pick your brain about what this meant for you and what Spagnuolo did and how it messes with your reads, things you have to change, all of that. So we're going to dive right in here because I'm going to let the man start talking here, and we're going to start with some negative plays for the Chiefs here. And so you're going to see this is 21 personnel. You're going to see these guards here be able to easily climb to the second level and wipe out these linebackers. This was all first half, basically what it looks like. I'm going to go back to the beginning here, Nick. First of all, what are you seeing here on this play?
So I'm just seeing that the combo blocks are able to get up to the second level, and you're essentially running. It looks like it's 4 week. If you look at the nose, you know, the Mike and the looks like the Sam.
Yeah, we'll back that up here. Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Yeah.
So Willie, and then they're filling with the safety, right? But then guess what? You also got 5-on-5. So everyone gets a block. Everyone gets a hat on a hat, as they say. And then, I mean, you got one of the best running backs of all time. I mean, you get hat on a hat, you're solid. You know, he's going to run through the arm tackle you got.
Right. And I do think, you know, this is kind of, we talked about this in the lab earlier this week. You see the safety coming off the edge here to kind of fill. You got the defensive end here. Even though Willie fills this pretty well, takes on the fullback, steps into the gap. The fact that 55 is able to kind of clear, go all the way up to the second level and clear Nick out. This is a huge gap here. So as an offensive lineman, as you know, when you play guard, when you were down on the interior there, getting the free release that 55 does here, and it is a combo block of sorts, but getting this kind of free release, are you salivating on the way up to the linebacker here?
Yeah, you are too. And it looks like if you got the safety down, it looks like the nose was supposed to cross maybe, or the nose was late getting off the ball, right? So he's getting caught by the center, and that's huge. And then the other one is left tackle is wedging out the D end. I can't see that number. So you look at all that space, whereas if he starts, that play starts on the left tackle's on the hash, right? If you rewind it. So I'm not even, look at that. I mean, G7, he's in the middle of the field. So look at where that tight end is. That D end is supposed to set the edge right there. And it's not.
Yeah.
I mean,
outside there.
So,
I mean, you could drive a bus through that gap.
You could. You can. He'd be tough if there wasn't a fullback back there. You know, it'd be tough on a block. So and then no one's coming off the backside. You're being contained, and it's a free lane. Right. And if you're the safety, if you're the safety, like, oh my God, I don't want it.
Yeah, exactly. Then you got Derrick Henry in open space there with the safety there. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare there.
It's a business move. This ain't the Super Bowl, right? Save yourself. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Live to fight another day. We're going to see these guys in the playoffs later. I'll get him then, right?
Exactly. So right there, it's an end, not setting the edge, and them running into a safety blitz where teams usually will want to run away from a safety blitz. I think the good teams run into safety blitzes.
Yeah.
I
And
really
you
do,
see,
you know?
it works. I mean,
Yeah, it
the tight
works.
end holds the edge really
Yeah.
well on this. And yeah, that left tackle, that displacement is great. So
Yeah,
let's,
and everyone does key. Everyone. If I'm PFF, right, I think everybody, right, except for Willie,
yeah,
gets a Willie. I don't know if he get a negative or not, since the hole is so big, nothing he can do, right? But everyone's getting a negative on the defense. Everyone's getting blocked on this front
absolutely,
seven.
man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we're gonna switch to another play. This is also from the first half here. And once again, now you're gonna see these guards are a little more covered. You got this one tech that's shading the right guard here, and you got a 3 tech over the
Left
left
guard.
guard here.
Mhm.
And so you're gonna see coming off the play here just how easily, once again, these guys are able to climb to the second level. And the cutback lane is
Mhm.
there on this play. So, Nick, what are you seeing about this particular one?
So they're once again sort of Tennessee or Nashville is outflanking them. So you see initially they're running into 4 week, and so you always
Mhm.
4 week. You always see 4 week. You're like, cool, let's run into that. So they're outflanking them essentially, right? They're bringing in a tight end and not really adjusting, right? Where
Yeah.
maybe they should shift. They should shift a little bit more, or adjust for the
Mhm.
tight end being there, and then center's doing a hell of a job reaching, and then the tight end and the right tackle are in sync. Right, they're both shoulder to shoulder, and they're back to the linebacker. So, regardless, you're going to make that safety give a 2-way go, right?
Mhm.
And then so that right guard is helping the center and tracking up. So you just got to stop the momentum of that nose, and then track
Mhm.
up to linebacker, track up to Nick, and then the left guard is getting a great cut block, and
Yeah, he
that
is.
seals the backside. And then we're doing left tackle doing basketball blocks. Sometimes you got
Yeah.
to turn around, you got to do whatever it takes, man. So he's doing a box out. He catching a rebound on that backside zone.
I was gonna say I've always called that, or I've always heard that called an ass block. Just
Yeah.
throwing your ass into it, trying to stop it. I
Just do
do want to
whatever.
highlight. I do want to highlight here. Darius Harris, number 47 in here. This is the second drive of the game. Willie Gay
Mhm.
Jr. has not been playing the second drives of games
Mhm.
lately, and
Okay.
I'm coach's decision because he's coming right back in immediately, and he needs to stick his nose in this C gap here. Like, it's wide open. He needs to step in there and fill it, knowing that he's got a force defender and a safety that's scraping over the outside here. So it really kind of makes it, kind of exacerbates it a little bit more, because if he steps in there, maybe he can get a hit on Henry, slow him up just a little bit. Maybe not make the tackle, but slow him up a little bit, because that cutback lane, when he hits that, yikes! Like,
Well,
that's a big man moving
good
moving really
and
fast in the middle of the
north and
field.
south. He's moving
Yes.
north and south as well too. Well, and if you look at it too, I think the reads. I know when I played with like a play called Bang Green, and essentially
Mhm.
everyone went to the right, and the read was he's reading the tackle, or he's reading like the butt of the tackle, and then I think once he sees that linebacker gets cut, that's the lane, right?
Got
That's
it.
the lane. You see, watch Derrick Henry's footwork. So he's where he's tracking up. He's tracking
Mhm.
up to the off tackle, and once he sees like timber, people going down,
Yeah.
that was his cutback lane. So that's what you look at that cut. You read that right tackle good, and then watch his feet when the cut block.
Yep.
Right. So he's like,
Wow.
okay, and then boom, he's already hitting it. Right. It's like, so
That's
that's the play.
yeah.
That's the play. That's backside one person, and that thing is open.
Wow.
But yeah, it's the cut. That's the read.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. You can see it's very much in sync. Putting the
Mhm.
foot in the ground as soon as it happens. He's got his eyes clearly there. That's sharp.
Yeah, so
That's sharp.
2 point read. Now that could have been a stutter step, right? If he didn't get that cut, maybe he's stuttering going back in. Like, why did he stutter? Like, okay, that's why.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes it simple,
Nice.
right? Front side and back side. You see someone go down, that's your lane.
Got it. Okay. So those are the two negative plays that kind of happen. You got to see Titans offensive line doing a really good job there. They're able to control the nose. That's kind of the big part. Control the nose with those reach blocks, able to get those guards up to the second level, and that makes things much more difficult for the Chiefs linebackers. Now all of a sudden they come out in the second half here in a bare front. And they kick Willie down to the line of scrimmage. You see 50 off the edge here. You see L'Jarius Sneed kind of condensing the slot here. For run fit purposes, you treat him as a Sam. Even though he is a slot corner, you treat him as a Sam. So now all of a sudden you got 6 guys on the line of scrimmage against these 6 blockers. This helps the linebacker. This helps keep Nick clean. Now all of a sudden it helps keep the safeties clean. It is definitely a bigger commitment to the run. Even before we're going to play this, or even before I hit play on this play, Nick, how does this change things for the offensive line when all of a sudden everything condenses down, everybody collects near the middle of the offensive line?
I don't know if I missed this. Was Chris Jones in those last 2 plays? I don't remember seeing
him. No, he wasn't.
So
no.
that's what changed. I was like, am I missing something? I'm trying to... So that's number one.
That's number one.
Run the ball when Chris Jones isn't in the game, right? That's smart on Tennessee. That's how Vrabel's making his money right there. So one, Chris Jones is in the game, right? So havoc. He's creating havoc and he's disrupting everything, right?
Yeah.
And then you look at formation, right? This is going to be so tough when you're lined up in the B gap, essentially. Those are wide threes. So when you got guys lined up in the B gap, man, that's a tough combo for going. If you look at the left tackle, right? You're going to try and reach that. And then if you're the left guard, you're going to hang back a little bit, right? If you're running the ball to your right, you're going to hang back because you got to give your tackle help, right? So then that slows it up automatically, right? So Bolton will have free range on that backside.
Absolutely. So we'll hit play here and we'll kind of see what happens on this play, and highlighting the 2 guards being covered there, highlighting the 2 guys off the edge. And what you're going to see is the tight end comes across as kind of an H-back, comes across here. This is a read that Malik Willis could have kept, and so he doesn't actually get any piece of Willie here. But you look at the way that Nick is in the gap here. You've got Chris Jones condensing, setting a good hard edge here, and condensing everything down. Everything's plugged up in the middle here. There's no escape route. And the result, obviously, is Willie comes off the edge unblocked, but it's everybody else. It's everything else. You see, watch his footwork here and the way that he's having to dance in the backfield. There's no place for him to go on this play.
No, there's not at all. And then now he's doing a great job too of just plugging the center. Like, so you're not getting anything. He's just sitting there and just playing it, right? So he's giving him a 2-way go. And then if you're the right guard, you can't combo with the center because you're comboing with the guard. So the 3 tech's taken 2. And then that way, linebackers are free to come off as they see fit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that 3 tech, Malik Herring, who plays defensive end for this team. I mean, we talk all the time about Steve Spagnuolo wanting these big old defensive ends that can kick down inside. There's a primary reason why. I mean, he's a guy now. He does get kind of comboed out of the play here, but that frees up Willie.
He takes 2.
He takes 2. That's what matters.
So, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he did his job, and wasn't even holding too. Good job. Usually, I thought that right tackle. They got a good combo out, but I think Willie just getting in there just really disrupts everything. I'm assuming he's the read, and it was just a bad read.
Correct. Yeah.
So he didn't even get fooled by the motion too. And that's a good job on Willie too, because look what he's got to do. He's got to play the orbit motion, right? Or the motion. So he's got to play that, and then he's got to play the read, and then he makes the tackle. So that was. I don't know if he holds it though. I think he might have had to step on him.
I think he might have had a step on him, but then you've got Reed filling the alley here. 20 is already pivoting to cover the read, and you've got Joshua Williams here, 23, that's getting ready to kick out there. You got some DBs that are at least coming out wide there. Maybe you can limit the gain a little bit more, but that's a great job by Willie. He had a hell of a second half here, so
that was nice.
Good job on that play right there.
Watch the left guard too. So watch the left guard. Always compare the ground, right? So he's stepping at about the that 5, 10, 15, the 15-yard line? Is that the 15? No. Yeah. 5. Yeah. So he's on the 15, right? Look at his right leg is on the 15. And then look how far back it goes, right? So he's stepping laterally. He's trying to climb the ladder. And then look, he's back. I mean, he's back just jammed up right there at the line of scrimmage. So that just condensed everything right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It helps to have a Chris Jones. It does. If you're watching Marvel, it's like, we got a Hulk. I mean, that makes a little bit of a difference there.
100%. 100% is the Hulk. Absolutely.
Okay. We're gonna go to another bear front here.
So that Willie saved the day on that one. Like if you see that one, right? He really, and that was, you could debate Malik, wasn't making a good read, but Willie, I mean, that was expertly played by him because that could have been a gash.
Absolutely. It could have. This is base defense again. So you've got 2 linebackers on the second level here in this front. You've got L'Jarius Sneed off the outside here. So you've got 4 down linemen. You've
8-man
got
box
up the edge. Yeah, 8-man box. And you've got Willie taking on this play and squeezing through the gap. And I wanted to highlight that because the very first play that we watched from this team is a safety taking on Austin Hooper on the outside there and not being able to squeeze through the gap. The difference in the strength and the power and all of that. You see the safety coming over the top here to be the force defender. Willie on the edge makes so much more of a difference in squeezing through that gap. It changes everything in the front there.
Yeah. And just like note the mismatch. That tight end is not blocking Willie Gay. Willie Gay's holding him off with one arm. That's a difficult feeling, by the way. when someone's holding you off with one arm and you're trying to do your job and he's holding you off with one arm, he's not even thinking about you. He's like, you're like a small child who's gotten into the way. You're like, excuse me, sir, we're good. I'm trying to get this guy. Like, just stop. I mean, that's you watch when you use spot shadow. Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, we'll let's back up again here. Yeah,
but yeah. See, watch. Look, he's just holding him on with one arm. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Look, one arm.
No.
Yeah.
Peeking into the backfield and still squeezing the gap. Like he's not really losing ground there. He's just flowing with the play and still squeezing through the gap there. That's outrageously good. I did want to highlight Mike Dana, who on the first play kind of was able to get sealed by that left tackle on the first play. Comes back. This is a much better rep from Mike Dana on this, ducking underneath and squeezing this guard to the outside. You see him make that gap kind of disappear by playing through that guy.
And if you're that tackle, you feel like that's a wide 5. It looks clear on tape, right? But as a tackle, you're thinking, okay, this guy's on my outside shoulder, right? But then when you look on film, this is obviously he's head over head. He's going to slant, right? He's going to angle or slant, whatever you want to call it. And that's why left guard was so surprised because he thought he was going to get a free runner.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Whoa.
Yeah, because he comes up there.
Maybe he was expecting it. That was great hat placement. He got him there. But then, I think that the play here is Bolton, who gets over the top of the block.
Yes.
That's huge. If he doesn't do that, if he gets sealed, well, not really, but it's not going to be a success.
It's not going to be a good time for him. And I also want to highlight, we'll go back here after the Willie play.
One arm.
Much better job of Leo Chanel. Coming from the backside here, 54, beating his man. The guy's climbing to him. I know it's behind the spot shadow right there, but doing a good job, with the ease that the guards were able to climb to him earlier in the game. That's a good learning experience from the rookie, being able to change and make that move, be able to slip to the outside there and help close that gap. It's he and Bolton that make the play, but it's Willie and Dana that help set that up on that particular play.
No, and it's a great job filling too. And if you look, he was coming, looked like he was blitzing or stuff because his footwork was like, okay, this guy's going to blitz. And then he just came through.
The stance here.
Yeah, look
at that guy's coming.
He's coming, or they don't even respect the run, the pass at this point.
And maybe that's maybe that's all it is. That Steve's just Spagnuolo is just telling him is like, hey man, like listen, you're bringing the heat, so we're doing this.
And they even run away from the extra offensive. Is that an O lineman? Who's the guy on the right?
No, that's a tight end there.
Okay, cool.
Just big old tight ends on this Titans front here. Because, he's actually going to come across and be able to seal George on that particular play. Yeah, the cutback lane was kind of open there.
87. Yeah, 87 held up Karlaftis, man. That was pretty wide, but I don't think there's anything to read over there.
Yeah. Okay.
Who's on the right? Chris Jones? Chris Jones on the right.
Oh, Chris Jones. Yeah. Okay, this is our final play that we're gonna go over here. And this is a little different look because you got Leo Chanel standing in the B gap, mugging this up, rather than sitting back on his heels at the second level. You bring a linebacker up, especially a guy that can hold his own at the line of scrimmage a little bit, and you try and reduce that. Like if he's going to have a guard climb to him anyway, you might as well try and stack at the line of scrimmage there, make the adjustment to try and do that. I don't know how often you saw this in your playing days, how often the linebacker walked up like that. Is that something that you see like as a change as an offensive lineman? Do you see that and think, oh, that's smart? Or do you see that and think, okay, I'm going to put this guy on his ass because I can win in close quarters and that guy can't?
Well, and then I think it changes your rules, right? Where like if you're going to that linebacker and the linebacker walks up, your whole rules change, right? And that's where that's where they say get in your playbook. It's making these decisions as, okay, let's say he's walked back 5 yards. Now all of a sudden, blue, and he starts walking up. that's when you got to be able to, you know, change up like, oh shoot, I can't pull now. I got to go heavy and I got to, you know, call it off, or I got to, you know, do something where you got to change up your rules.
And so
you're the right guard.
Is that communication happening on the
100%,
fly right there? You guys
100%.
talking back
It's like, or like heavy or something like that, or, you know, it's a sound, but it's noise. It's noise.
Gotcha.
Like sometimes when it's in the cadence, right? Because you're like, or it's a whistle or something like, woohoo, you know, but they're, you know, they couldn't hear anything. So that's why the crowd noise, you know, crowd noise affects stuff like that, right?
It does.
You can't, right?
It does. And what you're going to see, there are lots of positive things on this play. I believe we're going to start. Yeah, we're going to highlight Leo Chanel here, but I believe we're going to start with Colin Saunders here. Colin Saunders is having a career year here, and you're going to see him come off the line of scrimmage, and he's going to play. This center's trying to get out in front, and that guard's trying to down block on him. And you're going to kind of see him slow up, get his ass in the way to keep Willie free while still kind of pushing this offensive lineman along. Kind of throws him down over the front and muddies up the gap a little bit. I mean, that's great nose tackle play right there. You got a 2 for there, and you kept your linebackers clean, and you closed the gap. Like that's outstanding.
Absolutely. And I do like the force, you know, Chanel's playing with too, where he throws throws that tackle, and that's a risky move too, because, you know, he's already gotten reached essentially, right? So he's gotten reached and he's getting held. Of course he's getting held. That's what we do. But yeah, he's getting hold. Like it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. He throws them. I mean, if he didn't throw them, you create a pile, right? That's what you do. Like if I'm a D line, if I'm a defense, you want to create a pile, because that's what's tough to run over, right? It's friendly fire. But yeah, he initially he sets it and then throws them. That's really, and then it's just fodder, right? Because you just throw a big man, you just throw a big ass tackle off you, right? Now you got to get Henry. It's like, I'm done. I did my job. Let me out.
yeah, exactly. Just put the shoulder in. Somebody else
fighting the center, fighting the damn center off. Look at this, man. He fights the right tackle. Right guard fights the center. Fights Eric Henry. So yeah.
No, I like that. I like that you immediately went to Chanel on that, because we had that highlighted for the second half of the play there. It's so impressive. That's about the third time this year that we've seen him one-handed toss an offensive lineman like that, using his own momentum against him, sure, but doing a good job.
It's an unnatural move as well too, right? To sort of like throw him down and get him off you, because usually you want to work towards that way. But I guess it's a good way to play the backside zone, you know, play the cutback lanes, or just create havoc.
Absolutely. So yeah, great play by Chanel. Great play by Colin Saunders. And that just kind of allows Carlos Dunlap, who gets a double on the edge here. Great. It allows Carlos Dunlap and Willie Gay Jr. I love Willie throwing up the no finger as he pops up here. But, you know, it kept the linebackers free. And that was really kind of the biggest difference that you saw in the second half there. Changing the alignment, changing the rules for the offensive linemen there allowed the Chiefs to keep their linebackers clean. And that's the biggest reason, and obviously better execution on the front there is the biggest reason for why the run game was able to be plugged up and turned around by this Chiefs defense.
Yeah, it really was too. You know what's funny, and people are always like amazed, but anytime we used to get bear fronts, it was an automatic check to counter, like automatic check to counter.
Oh, that makes sense.
Counter is the bear killer, you know, because what they're trying to get penetration anyways, and that's why I think they would run the bear with Chanel or Leo is like, because it's like he's walking up. So it's not a planned look for a bear, right? You don't have that extra D tackle. And so, but you can still run a bear front essentially when he mugs up like that.
Yeah.
Right. So that, because it's like, you see bear, it's counter all day.
And why explain to the people why that kills it so much, what that opens up. Yeah.
So what happens? First of all, you want to counter, like I guess, run the counter to Chris Jones. So if it was this play, you want to run a counter to the left side, where you're getting that left guard and left tackle are comboing up to Willie.
Okay.
Right. So that's the combo. And then the center is blocking down on 9-9, Colin. And then the right tackle is essentially getting Chanel like on the 5-4. So he's rebound blocking, right? He's stepping inside, he's pivoting, right? He's blocking him. So, and in that way, and then, you know, you get the momentum going one way, and then it's bursting out that left side. And then look, your left side, you got what, 4 week, essentially 5 week, and call the shade. So you're running against, all he's got to beat is 2-1, right?
Yeah.
Come on, Derrick Henry. Come on, who you got, right? I don't care who you got.
I'm sure he would love to get Trent McDuffie
exactly.
in a one-on-one scenario there. Yeah,
right. He's an aggressive open field tackler, but it's Derrick Henry. And when I saw like Willie Gay celebrating the tackling King Henry, that's when I realized like they were celebrating when they got like a 1-yard stop, like it was a sack. But that's the chore. That's the chore. That is, King Henry, man. Dude's a monster. He's an absolute monster.
Well, that's kind of what I wanted to highlight there, and that gives us a better idea of kind of how that changes things for the offensive line, and that's why I wanted to bring you on to do that, because we all know that Spagnuolo made those adjustments, and obviously they worked, and we can highlight why they worked. This guy does that, this guy does that, but that's why I wanted to have you on to explain. Hey, when we saw this, we had to do this. When we saw this, this is what happened, and when they saw that, that's how it changed, and how it changed the rules and how it changed everything there. And when you're playing against a rookie quarterback, especially one that they don't trust to throw the ball very often, you can stack things up like that and try and force the execution on the offensive line. So I know you play with a lot of quarterbacks. You play with a lot of good quarterbacks too. So you didn't necessarily have that problem of saying, hey, listen, everybody's going to walk up and we're going to have to win the game. But does that create an additional pressure as an offensive lineman when you know that the defense is just teeing off on the run and that you basically have the game in your hands? It's on you to make that all happen.
Well, you love it, but it's definitely like running versus like, an even front or even like an over, any sort of four down lineman front. It's easy because you're going to get clean combos. You're going to get up to the tackles. When they put 3 in the middle, bear look, whatever, you have no confidence running the ball. You don't feel good about any run play interiorly, right? You're like, let's not run. There's like a lot of people in here. Let's not. But then that's why you do the counters, right? So you go momentum. But it's daunting just because it's like, man, they're plugging us up. And then they're saying, man, it's like there's nothing worse if it's like 3rd and 10 and you're running up and you're going up and you have a screen called. And first of all, I hate my coach for calling a screen at 3rd and 10. And they're going, hey, screen over here. You're like, no, it's not. And like, change it.
How often does that happen? I mean, especially, I'm sure playing against some like ridiculously smart linebackers and defensive linemen. Yeah, it has to be just completely demoralizing. It's like they know what we're doing. Like we're screwed here. Like yeah. And so when that happens, and if it doesn't change, like what's the mindset there? Just get out there. We got to get out quick. We got to try and do that. Yeah.
I'm like, did the quarterback not hear this? Like, because I think quarterbacks, going through progression, going through reads and stuff. And I'm like, do we not hear that? I'm like, and you don't want to say, a part of you too is like, okay, they're going to call. Let's see if they can execute it. And 9 times out of 10 they get it, right? Like, but just one time, right? You pop it, and it's like, yeah, suck it. But yeah, you want to feel like you could do it, right? But then you're like, because you have that confidence. But then a part of you is like, damn it. Like, oh, what's the next down, right? Let me just figure it out. But yeah, if the D lineman, it's no good.
Thank you so much for joining me, helping explain to the people how that changed things for the offensive line for the Titans. Chiefs got a big game coming up against the Jaguars, another AFC South game. Hopefully not as ugly as the other AFC South games that the Chiefs have played so far this season. We'll be back breaking down this game next week. So thanks again to Nick. Back next week with the defense. Be kind to each other. We'll catch you later.